at 5, a deep dive into an issue that's an ongoing challenge here, and we're trying to look at it in a new way tonight.
We're asking who's living on the streets within a block of us in Colorado Springs and why. KRDO News Channel 13's Shannon Brenius brings us answers in her investigation.
For the homeless we talked to, a myriad of paths seem to lead to this one place. Many view Colorado Springs as a temporary stop, but with very few exceptions, not one seem to want to change their status. They're choosing this life on the streets.
They come from all over, some from right here.
I grew up in Manitou and Woodland Park.
I was actually headed for Tucson.
I'm from Frankfurt, Germany.
We chose to do a survey starting right at the KRDO News Channel 13 studios and poll the homeless living within a block, roughly within a mile. What brought them here, why they stay on the streets, and why do they do what they do?
I just moved here from Alabama and I'm just trying to get on my feet again.
Zach Thompson technically lives out of his truck. He won't move into a shelter because of OG, the dog, his constant companion. He hasn't resorted to panhandling, but won't rule it out. Danger and drugs, just part of the street lifestyle.
I'm not really sure about the other stuff because I don't mess with it. The only thing I really do is smoke weed, but it's definitely out here. I think that's a lot of the reason why most of these guys are homeless is they're addicts.
And within our chosen block, you see the visible signs of campsites where, addicted or not, the homeless make deserted spots their own.
Hello.
Tents packed with gear or belongings on the move. Among this community, shelters are simply not where they want to be.
It's not worth the hassle. There's just too many people in line, and it's just not. I mean, you hear all kinds of things. They give you all kinds of information, but nothing ever happens. Does that make sense? Yeah. It just doesn't. So after a while, you just give up.
Nailing down why some are homeless can be complicated.
My son's dad, who hasn't paid a bit of child support, I got diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. I've now accepted bipolar.
Susan Schaefer's mental illness leads to what seems like an ever-changing story.
Schools, colleges were being shot up and we were getting emails on it. I've been homeless off and on ever since.
Regina Seebeck's more straightforward.
Well, the reason I'm homeless is from alcohol abuse and domestic violence.
Relying on scavenged food and handouts, she considers others on the streets her family.
I don't think I'm homeless. I think I belong to God, but helping the family out.
Since late summer, Colorado Springs police have been enforcing a ban on homeless camping near Fountain Creek and other waterways. This one prime location under the 8th Street Bridge seems abandoned, but this is an example of the constant struggle between a community that cares pushing out those who may need caring.
Everything we do out here is criminal. Sitting right here is against the law. I'm sitting on somebody else's property, so therefore I'm trespassing.
Jay Glover wears the clothes and scars showing the reality of rough living. But don't call him homeless. This is where he feels most alive, riding the trains as a modern-day self-titled hobo, a high-risk life choice.
That's one thing. Nothing made me homeless. I'm a traveler. I'm a nomad.
In 6 months' time, he'll have been in Portland, California, Utah, Colorado, Houston, and New Orleans, all hitching the rails.
You want to get your kitty food?
On the other end, John Spazzali's got no plans to leave for one furry reason.
Taking care of these cats.
He's a veteran on benefits, but gives everything he has to feeding dozens of feral and stray cats.
Because it's costing me between $300 and $400 a month, and that's what I'd have to pay for rent, and then I wouldn't have no money for cat food, you know. So I'm kind of putting myself through this just for their sake.
Like his wild cats, Spazzali's environment seems just what he needs, nothing more. He's here to stay.
I don't use drugs myself, but I know about 99% of the people on the streets are using drugs or they're mentally ill. It is a big problem. You know, I see it all the time, but they got to try to help themselves.
Or maybe they have found what they're seeking, at least within this block, and they don't plan on doing anything else.
I got divorced after 20 years and just don't care no more.
Now, some of that video was shaky. We shot most of it using an iPhone. It helped the homeless open up to us better. And again, we asked each interview subject a set list of questions. What's keeping you homeless? Do you ever see yourself getting off the streets? And with very few exceptions, their choice was stay on the streets. Shannon Brenius, KRDO News Channel 13.